Thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring Holy Grail items. In the previous video, if you didn't see that, I talked about top 10 Holy Grail items. We've got this or that, so a couple in each category as well as some other Holy Grail items. So if you'd like to see that, please keep watching. Okay, I have my hair straight and I actually used the Shark Glossy this morning. Just add a little bit of hydration here. I've got the CHANTECAILLE. This is a Rose de May lip balm. I just added that to my lips for a bit of hydration. So I'll tell you about how I got this hair in a moment, but let's go ahead with some SPF first. I'm just going to apply it to a couple of places on my face, not all over, because I want you to see the foundation directly on. I also want you to see how this works with the foundation as well, because we have questions sometimes about foundation and SPF. So this one is by CHANTECAILLE. It's the Ultra Sun Protection Sunscreen. This is SPF 45. This still is the best SPF that I found that serves as a primer and works really well under a foundation. So you can see there the texture, it's a little bit more fluid and it's sheer. So that's the main difference between this SPF. Let me just apply it right here so you can see. That's the main difference between this SPF and the next SPF I'm going to show you. So we'll just place SPF right along the cheek there. And then let me put a little clip in, this little tilt clip. This is the other SPF, which is the matte screen. You can see this is my daily SPF. If you want a mineral SPF, this one's 40, and you can really see how well loved this is. It's the matte screen SPF by Supergoop. This one definitely is different in texture. You can see right there. I'm gonna say it's like a wet clay-like kind of texture. But let me just add it right here and you'll see it will add a little bit of a white cast, but you'll also see that with foundation, it doesn't stand out either. So let me just do a little here so you can see it on the skin, and we'll just leave it like that so we can see how this progresses with a little bit of makeup on top too. But this also has a nice primer type texture to it. And let me just work this in a little bit, but you can see there's definitely, you can see it versus this side. So I hope that's a good illustration of these two products, the difference. So for more refined makeup where it's sheer, or if you just want sheer SPF, this is really nice. It's got a primer texture as well, a little bit more hydration. The Supergoop is really great for more oily or combo skin types, which I know can be challenging to find an SPF that doesn't move around too much because sometimes they're too hydrating. So let's go in with the foundations. Now, I just recently, actually I think it was a previous video, no, maybe 2 videos ago, where I featured the difference between the CHANTECAILLE Future Skin and the Victoria Beckham. And really the difference here is time, because to become a Holy Grail, it takes time and consistency over time. So that's why they're still competing. I really haven't used this as long as I've used this. This I've used for years. So we've got the cushion here and it has a more satiny finish compared to the Victoria Beckham. So I need a new one, but let's go in with this Shiseido brush here. Just get a little bit of that on there. I'm gonna just pat it on here and you can see it does have a bit of a more olive tone as well. In case you are a little bit more olive than me, I have some neutral undertones. But while I finish this off, let's just take a look really quickly. Let's talk about the hair. So I actually conditioned with the COLLEEN ROTSHCHILD first, and then of course rinsed it out. And you can see my hair wet, what it looks like. And then I went in with this really lovely hair serum. And I do my bangs first because I want them to go in the direction I want them to go in first, so that's key. I've used this instead of a round brush, but you can see it doesn't get the same kind of volume with a round brush, but it works in a pinch. And then taking a claw clip like this one, it's really nice. It's flat on the top or flatter on the top. I just take sections of my hair and I blow dry, usually coming from underneath, and I use the side that has the bristles on it. Also, I try to pull the hair out and forward to get that forward motion because my hair tends to go backwards. So I like to pull the hair forwards and then kind of flip it. And then I remembered I forgot heat protectant. So I have been testing out this Fenty and it's really nice. So it has a lovely smell if you wanted to try it out. But using that heat protectant is important. And then you can see as I go towards the top of the crown, I try and get a little bit of lift at the crown. I don't have any root spray or anything like that, so anything I can do to just get a little bit of a lift. I like my hair pretty natural, not too much product, as you can see. I'm very minimal with the product. And then at the end, I finish off with this lovely cream, and it just helps tame the flyaways. But you can see the weight of my hair. It's got a lot of movement. I really like that. This is different than a straightener for me in that it has a little bit more movement, a little bit more volume. So I hope that helps if you wanted to demo. It's one of the easiest tools I have that is really fast, and it's all self-contained, so there's no switching in and out of different attachments, so it's really nice that way. And I think it looks really healthy when I use it, so you can see the shine there, and then the movement I think is really key. I'm going to use the other shark tool a little bit later, and we're going to put some curls in here, but I just want to show you that one to begin with. So now we have the Future Skin on this side. We're going to go in with the Victoria Beckham. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see the Chantecaille up close, if you have never seen this before, it's the cushion. And then I have on the shade Wheat. Then we've got this Victoria Beckham. This one right here, fairly new to the market as well. And I have mine in the shade 8 medium. Now let's take a look at that SPF before I go in really fast, because I feel like it's not as evident. So I just wanted you to see if you were interested in a mineral SPF. That this one, I mean, you can definitely feel though, there's a more smooth primer type feeling to it, which is something I really like. So I noticed you've got to use, or I have to use the right brush, or what really works nicely is to just apply this with my hands and then go in with a brush. So this is again shade 8. You can see it's a little bit more color than I actually am right now. So I also have shade 6 somewhere, but if I'm going to pick one shade, shade 8 works really well. Just go in and apply. Very easy application on both of these. And I didn't even use all of it, just the littlest bit. So this one I've said, if you saw that comparison, it was the 5 Holy Grail competitors video. This one has a just from the spa kind of glow. So a different finish. This is more satiny. This is more glowy. It really depends on how you want your skin to look. Once I added foundation, you can't really see that SPF anymore. So that's kind of what I wanted to illustrate, is that even though there is a white cast with that, if you're adding a foundation on top, then it doesn't show. Due to my progress with dark spots, I've been able to use this really easily. It's the Camouflage CILS by Chantecaille, and this is definitely a holy grail. I have repurchased this almost more than anything else, even though I don't talk about it as much. It's so versatile. This one is in the shade 4C. And Chantecaille, I'm very lucky, sends me a lot of products, but I think I purchased this one last. And then I think I've purchased a few more as well. I love that it has a brush, so it's very easy to travel with, very easy to use. So I'm going under the eye here, and let's cover the dark spots. And I love this for no makeup look. Sometimes I'll use no foundation, and then I'll just go in with this concealer, and then that's it. Really easy. And then I can just use my clean hands here and just pat this in. It has like a slight, not quite sure what the technology is in there, but it's not a flat finish. It's a very consistent finish with the foundation. It's very lovely. You can also use it around my chin where I get a little bit of darkness. I think this particular shade also, it has a bit of a peachiness to it, so it's got a slight color correcting aspect to it, especially on these dark spots. This is really great for those of you who do not love visible makeup because it's very imperceptible. It's really pretty. Very thin layer as well. This one does not have to be a thick layer for it to be effective, as you can see there. Very nice. Okay, so let's go in with something that is heavy duty, but it's very serious when it comes to concealing dark spots, melasma, hyperpigmentation, Clé de Peau. This is next to this, might be my most frequently repurchased product ever, is this Clé de Peau concealer. So I've tried all the latest 3 iterations of this. That's how long I've tried it. And this one's in Honey. Let's go on the dark spots with this on this side. They do a really excellent job with, I mean, it's like an eraser. I just am consistently impressed with it. How it just erases dark spots. And let's go down here, under, and here. Okay, now this one I do not go under the eye with because it is so opaque and it's a little bit heavy for that area for my taste. So I do like this in the corners though, to just combat that darkness on the edges right there. Oh, by the way, this does have SPF as well. That makes a lot of sense to have SPF, especially for those dark spots. I always want to keep my dark spots away from the sun. Going with this Camouflage STYLO over on this side. This is more fluid for the under eye area. Let me just lean in a little bit so you can see, like you can kind of see the dark spots still versus here where I feel like it really did a nice job of concealing with the Clé de Peau and then the Camouflage STYLO. But also I think you can see the difference in that finish and how natural this Camouflage STYLO looks over here. So if you're good with a little bit of imperfection, which I am very fine with that on the daily basis. Now when I want things perfected, different story, I'll go for the Clé de Peau. But on everyday, this is fine. If you saw my ultimate everyday makeup, I'm using a concealer that is more evident and more SPF. So if you want to see that, make sure to see that everyday makeup. Yeah, those may be on a promo as well, so make sure to head over there. Okay, I'm gonna go in though. This has no competitor, and this one is Victoria Beckham's Eyewear in the shade Trench. I use it to combat this darkness under here, which I still don't know why I have it, but I do have it. Now this one doesn't really have a competitor in terms of a setting powder. This is so lovely. This is a Clé de Peau powder. I'm gonna use this, the Beauty Blender, this little puff that I received, and let's use that to press in. Okay, this is very much realistic, like everyday makeup for me because it's very light-handed. If you look at my skin, you can still see it. So I'm not covering up the skin. I'm letting it show through. It's very easy to get an even complexion, very perfected complexion with a lot of foundation on camera. So I'm really trying to show this as a real life makeup, how I would wear it. Okay, so we have here these brow products by KOSAS, and I think that showing them side by side might help with the color selection because I know I use two, but not everyone needs to. I'm gonna go in with brown black on this side over here. Again, this is that KOSAS brow. It's called Air Brow, and this is brown black. So applying it, so this is a newer one and a little chunk was deposited, which is one of the reasons why I start on the arch. That's where I want most of the product deposited anyway. Moving towards the tail, this is going to be the bulk of the application right here, because just being careful not to get too dense here at the beginning of the brow, because you can see even if I do this, it's a little too much. So I'll do this one so you can see the difference. This is again brown black. There are so many different shades. I think I had a question about this. This is one that doesn't have a red tinge to it. There are some that have a reddish tone, which I try to avoid. I like things that are cooler. Even more of a green tone is better than a red tone on me. This here is in gray. So gray almost looks lavender-ish, but I think it has to do with the packaging as well. But let me show you gray next to brown black. So there's the difference between brown black and gray. So brown black, you can see, works really well with my hair. And then gray, it's definitely lighter. And that's why I like to put this more towards the center. So now I'm going to not mix them, but I'll put them in the spots where I use them normally. But I thought that might help in case. I mean, this is a much softer look though, if you want softer. And I would use this in the case that I don't have time and I'm rushing and there's more room for error here. But if I wanted more drama, more definition, I would pull for the brown black. Let's take this gray and apply it to the front, this section of the brow, because this is what I really want soft. Also the ends, I can apply it just to the ends of the brow. So that way it's darker towards the roots and then lighter towards the end. I know that is a little bit excessive, but these are the things that I think about and want to experiment with. So I hope it's at least helpful to see them side by side. So, I mean, you probably just need one. Okay, I'm going in with the brown black over here, trying to focus it closer to the roots. The hold on this is amazing, whatever shade you pick. Now we're gonna go in with Eye. I love this palette. I feel like this is one of the highest performing, most beautiful palettes that I've tried, and that's why it keeps appearing in these videos. This is sun-dried driftwood. So let me show you the back, because this one, the case needs to be purchased separately from the actual palette, which I like because it cuts down on waste. We've got sun-dried driftwood 3. BK Beauty, it's a 206 that comes in this. It's part of this precision collection. I meant to use this, I forgot that flat brush, but we'll try to use the other ones if you want to see them. This is the 206. So I'm going to take this primer color. You can see it's almost got a sheen to it. Well, almost, it does have a sheen. It's a little creamier than the rest of them. So we're going to add that to the lid. And that's going to serve as our primer. I'm going to go all the way up to the brow, just so we have consistent surface. Okay, then going in with this lighter color. Ray Morris number, I think it's a 7.5, this medium shade. And then let's go into the crease. Take this number 207 BK Beauty brush, which is also in this kit. Take this deepest shade right here. It's like a lovely raisiny color. Let's place that in the corner. Taking this teeny tiny 208 brush, which is also in the same kit. It's the smallest brush. Okay, we're going to take this deepest color and we're going to use it as an eyeliner. Concealer. I love this little Clé de Peau brush, the concealer brush. It's really great for this section right here to clean up. This has got that straight edge on it. Okay, we'll add mascara in a moment. Let's go in with this. I haven't talked about these Hermes palettes in a while, but they are lovely. They have a very pretty creaminess to them. I have mine. These are also removable, replaceable. Is that the word I'm looking for? You can switch them out. And this is an 01. I've tried all of them except maybe the new holiday, but this is the palette. And I don't necessarily use this color. We're going to go in with this shade right here from the Hermes 01 palette. Really beautiful. And then let's go in. We have here the 207 brush by BK Beauty. Let's go in this darkest shade right in the corner. A little bit more light-handed, though it's a little bit intense, but really beautiful. Okay, let's take this same Ray Morris brush just to blend this in. Let me remove the other product. Let's just blend it. So that's what I like about this, is that you can sheer out this deepest color, which looks very intense. It's really pretty. Okay, I'm going to take the same brush, this cute little 208 brush, and we'll do the same thing. Let's make this deepest shade the liner. Let's brighten up this Hermes eye with a little bit of this glowy shade right there. Looks like this. Really gentle. I'm going to sheer that out. Also helps to blend the deepest shade and the initial shade that I applied. So let's take this shade, the medium shade right there, this one, and I'm going to apply it here just to blend these two sections together, the deepest and the lighter shade. And you could also use this on top. So I'm going to use this creamier shade just right in the center. Okay, now I have a competitor for my Holy Grail mascara by Chantecaille. This is Chantecaille's Faux Longest Lash Mascara. So let's use that first. And if you saw my previous, the 2 videos ago, where I talked about this Faux Longest Lash having competitor, I will use that one again on the other side. One of the main reasons this is the Holy Grail is that consistency. It is consistently high performing, and I can always count on that mascara. It's really hard for me to find another mascara that can compete. Now this is a Givenchy mascara. It's also been very consistent. I loved the results when I first used this, and it continued to perform consistently. Sometimes I get results that are great with some other mascaras, but I can't say it's consistent, but this one has been consistent. That's why this was in the running for Holy Grail. The results are very similar, so I think if I hadn't told you that I was using 2 different mascaras, I don't know if you'd be able to tell, or maybe you would, so let me know what you think. Okay, so let's go ahead with blush. This Valentino 09 is just so beautiful and is so consistent. Speaking of consistency, this one I pull for whenever I need just a little bit more skin blurring, skin perfecting, skin beautifying. This is it. It's Valentino 09. Yeah, so right there is the shade. Okay, so I'm taking a BK Beauty 108. Also in this kit here. I really feel like this is such a go-to for me. It always looks beautiful. And when I compare blushes, I'm in my mind comparing it to this one because I love everything about this, how it appears on the skin, how it really is quite seamless. It melts really nicely with the skin. It's not one of those blushes that sits on the skin. It has just the right amount of creaminess to it. Yeah, so pretty. And just the faintest glow, not too much. So I definitely can add highlighter on top of this if I want to, but it's just a great go-to blush. Just looks pretty every single time. Yeah, really pretty. Okay, so that is the Valentino now. So this one over here is a more traditional powder blush, and this one is Sea Turtle by Chantecaille. And this one I've been using and loving for years. I'm just gonna flip this brush over and you'll see if you want something that is a little bit more of that traditional formula, then you could try something like this. It's really pretty. So this is Valentino and this is Chantecaille Sea Turtle. I almost forgot my bronzer. Let me do that now. So bronzer. I really do love bronzer, and for the purpose of adding a little touch of sun to the skin, and I don't use it like dusting across. I do use it as a more of a little bit of color around the exterior of the face to kind of focus the lighter parts to the center of the face. And I prefer this to something like a contour because it can be a little bit more, what is the word I'm looking for? Can apply this more broadly. Yeah, so this really helps focus that light to the center of the face. And it's very close to my skin color. So that's another reason I really enjoy this. It's the warmest bronzer I've encountered without being orange. And it's just a really easy to use powder. I could dust it all the way across if I wanted to, but it doesn't look muddy. So the thing with my skin is if it's got too much gray in it or too much red, it looks like muddy. So that's what I try to be really careful with when it comes to bronzer. Okay, the other bronzer that I really enjoy if I want a creamy formula is this Stick One by Dior. And this one's an 02 tan. Now really, this is a skin contour, but I use it as a bronzer. The other ones really are contour shades. They're very gray, very cool in their undertones. Yeah, they're very cool in their tones, but this one is really lovely for my skin tone. I've done this before, but you can see it right there. Usually I do this before blush, but I forgot. It's BK 106. A little goes a long way. And this does have more of an orangey tone versus the other one I just used, which is more just warm. I'm gonna put on a couple of, oh wait, just kidding. I have a couple of things left to do on my face, but I do wanna show you the other Shark product, the Shark Glam product, because they styled my hair at the YouTube event with that on dry hair. So I wanted to show you that, but let's go in with this lip, which is a Holy Grail. I've purchased it, repurchased it for myself, for my sister. It's Victoria Beckham in Spark. Spark, it's really pretty. It's a really great Your Lips But Better shade. Okay, so there is some leaf blowing happening out there, so this is a good time to do the hair, but this is the lip. It's so pretty. I really love it. It's one of the easiest lip products to apply because it's a really great color. That's why I continue to wear it as a daily lip. Also, if I want to go with a more intense eye, it's a really great neutral shade for me because it doesn't compete with anything, just enhances natural lip color. But yeah, let's go ahead and do some styling. So we'll do a little bit of curling with the other Shark tool. I needed to put an attachment on and there are two different barrels for two different directions. So I've got the right facing barrel, and it also has a setting for dry hair. So that's the one that I used because I'm styling dry hair, and just like with the earlier process, starting with the layers underneath. And I have to say that finding the cool shot button was a little tricky because there isn't a very distinct tactile kind of sensation for where that cool shot is, but it will just take practice kind of remembering where it is. But I used the cool shot as well and curled the right side of my hair, and then I switched out the barrel. So taking out the right barrel and then switching out for the left side of my hair. And then I just repeated the process. And when I got to the bangs, I used the left facing barrel because I knew it would have the air facing downwards as it's parallel to the ground. So that's what I used to curl my bangs. And then I just finished off with the Orbais Superfine Hairspray. So that was the first time actually that I used that product by myself. I had it used on my hair during the YouTube event, but that's the first time I used it. It was pretty intuitive, except again for the cool shot piece. And another thing to remember is that it will have to be one barrel facing one way. Some people like to mix up like right and left, so just thinking about how you're going to plan that if you're going to switch directions. Otherwise, do half there first seem to work well, and then the second half. It's a little bit of a learning curve, just like with any tool, but you can see the results are these nice loose waves, which I like. I don't like anything that's too done, but it's got enough of just a curve in it that I like, that it looks like it's alive. So I liked it straight, but I also like it with a little bit of a wave here. I almost forgot. We need to add some finishing powder. So finishing powder isn't totally necessary, but if you just want a little bit more perfecting, my hair going the way I want. If you want a little bit more perfecting, then we have here Chantecaille. This is the Perfect Blur Powder, which is the one that I dropped, but this is in light medium. It looks so pretty on the skin, so I have a Chantecaille Buff and Blur Brush. Apply it right here in the center, just for a little blurring. I mean, powder is beautiful on camera. Also, this one's beautiful in real life. So sometimes I know that on camera makeup with powder is pretty magical, but this is pretty magical in real life. Blurs the appearance of dark spots, as well as it looks like my skin is smoother. Then we have here, if you want a little bit of glow, is the Hourglass. And this has been something I have featured from the very beginning of this channel. This is in dim light. You want a little bit of a glow. It's a more satiny glow though, not like a sparkly glow. Dim light is the shade. And this little one just fine. I don't use a lot of it, but this does a very similar thing, except with more of a satin glow. I still really love the Hourglass powders. They do this kind of powder better than pretty much anyone else. Okay, and then this one, the Chantecaille Blur Powder, that shade was light medium. So let's go in with that blush by Dior, because I want to add a little bit of, I know I just powdered, but this way we introduce a little bit more of that skin-like glow to the skin, just right here strategically. Let's add a little bit of glow. This one is in Pearl. This is in Pearl. Such a beautiful one. And you know, I love this because it's like a balm, but it's not sticky and does not emphasize texture. Especially if you have drier skin, I think this might be really lovely. Okay, let's add a little bit down the bridge of the nose. Okay, so now we have all of those things in place. Let's change the lip, because you know how I love a very nice lip to bring everything together. And I feel like we didn't go so overboard on the eyes that we can't do a nice red lip. So let's add that. But again, this is Spark by Victoria Beckham. Let's go ahead and remove this. Okay, I've shown you the really great lip brush with this Red Lily, which comes in so handy, especially if you need a little bit of assistance with a bold color, because it can quickly get out of control and then any error is very visible. I'm gonna show you how you can use the lipstick to help you. Also because I can't find the brush, but I'll show you how the lipstick can help. So turning it on this pointy side, using that as a liner. So I kind of have it upside down actually, going in like this. You just have to be very careful doing this. As usual, we'll apply. Just taking a Q-tip and running it across the edges here, just to soften. So lining it to just establish where the lipstick's going to go, and then doing this to soften the edges. I actually wore this to an evening event. I did a lighter layer and it was really nice. So you definitely can either make this really bold or less bold. So I'm gonna add a little bit more to the center. And that is the final look. Thank you so much if you've been using those shopping tabs that are popping up here. I was trying to find items that were on promo for you. And if not, hopefully if you're watching this at a later time, there might be a promo going on. So you should see those popping up either way in probably this section of the video. So thank you so much for using those affiliate links. And I hope it was helpful to see both of those Shark products in action, because I had questions about them. Both really lovely, different purposes. So let me know if you'd like to see more on those or if you have questions. I'll be happy to try to answer them. And do let us know what your Holy Grail items are and how you use them. We'd love to know. But that is it for today's video. So please take care of each other, stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.